Libby German's grandmother, Becky Patty, is joining me live right now. Thank you for being here and talking about this very difficult subject. This is your family. But you have said that Richard Allen did develop the photos for your family while working at that pharmacy. Do you remember your interactions with him?
It wasn't me, it was my daughter. Not just that, all what she remembers is that she had sent some photos up there to be developed, and then she was picking out some more, and he's the one that gave them to her and then said, you don't have to pay for those, we'll take care of that. But I have learned since that that is common for them to do that.
It's common for them to do that, but if he's the alleged killer, it's just mind-blowing. When you heard he'd been charged with 2 counts of murder and one of those girls was your granddaughter, would you ever have suspected him, somebody who was a neighbor, essentially?
No. You always hear this anytime somebody's interviewed after a horrible crime. All the neighbors say, oh, I would have never imagined. So that's kind of where everybody is here right now. But we have always known that that was a possibility. It was also a possibility that he wasn't from around here. I guess we had just always kind of hoped that he wasn't from around here.
Had you heard from law enforcement how they tracked Richard Allen down?
No. They called us on Wednesday, said we want to meet with you in an hour. And at that time, they didn't give us a name. They just said they had somebody detained. So that came totally from left field. We weren't even aware that an arrest was even close.
What does justice look like to you?
There's never going to be real justice because you can't ever bring the girls back. But justice for us, the solace that we have is to know that once the girls' killer is convicted, that the world's a little safer and that he can never hurt somebody else.
Becky Patty.
That's the good. That's the good that can come out of this.
That's the good. Thank you so much for joining us. I do want to ask one more quick question. What are your hopes? How are you moving forward? How are you and your family staying strong?
We stay strong through faith and family. We have walked this journey with our entire family, step in step. And as for what's next, we're still trying to figure that one out. I don't know what my purpose is now. Before it was to keep the word out there and keep the search on. And now, I guess now our purpose is to remind the public that the police are still asking for tips. They still, maybe it's easier for somebody to send in a tip now because there is a name. And before it was just a sketch and bridge guy. Now there's a name and maybe people can remember back and think, oh, I had an interaction with this guy. This was kind of weird, or I saw him with so-and-so or something. It might be a little easier to get those tips in now.
And for you, you have other grandchildren, is that correct?
Yes, I do.
Okay, so I know one of your purposes is to be a wonderful grandmother, as you have been.
Well, yeah, we do everything. It will be nice because in the last 5 years, I have missed a lot with my other grandchildren, and I never used to miss a ball game, an event of theirs, and I have missed so many of them in the last 5 years, and so many of them have grown up, and I look now and my goodness, they're grown, you know? So it will be nice to have the time to go back and reacquaint the way I used to with the kids.
All right, Becky, thank you again for being with us this morning.
Thanks.
Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find News Nation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of News Nation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.